Hello, Amira. How are you doing today?
Wanting fries isn't an emotion, is it?
I'm sorry?
Wanting fries isn't an emotion, so I'm gonna say fine.
Haunting fries?
Wanting with a W.
Wanting. Okay. I'm sorry. There was a little bit of breakup on that.
Haunting fries terrify me now, though.
Well, I have come up with a title for our session tonight. Red Brand Rebrand. Because I think it's time that these red brands had a makeover. I believe we know just the PCs to put in charge of that.
First of all, we gotta change their colors.
I know it's supposed to be a morning drink, but I am violating every code of ethics known by drinking mimosas at this time of night.
Technically, you're drinking in the morning, since in another time zone it's morning time.
There you go. Had some champagne left over from Thursday night. So, there's orange juice. There's champagne. Go ahead and get rid of that. So, Gooney will be along in a few minutes. Are you currently playing in any other D&D games, or is this your only outlet every week?
Just like one on Sundays in this one.
Okay, all right. Well, like I said, Shaun has mentioned that he is having to bow out because of other commitments. So if you know of anybody that's looking to pick up a game on Saturday night, let them know that we have some openings here. You can kind of tell them the ways in which this one is different. And if anybody's interested, you'd be welcome to have them join us.
You might know one who we were talking about this game yesterday, because I sent them the stream. And they were asking me why I'm so hellbent on taking over the world.
And the answer is, why not?
Exactly. Like, I could do it, so why not?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Hey, everybody. We are in an extended pregame session. We have two of our players decided they wanted to go ahead and have the session tonight, and one of them just got an urgent phone call. So she'll be with us in a few minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep the music running during the pregame table talk. Yes, so yeah, that's precisely the right answer, Amira. Why wouldn't you take over the world? There's this whole world there that needs some guidance.
No downsides.
Yeah, really. I mean, a couple of more levels, and it doesn't matter if the whole town decides they don't like you. You just, with the wave of one hand, just put them all to sleep.
I already in the town. What can I do about it anyway?
Right. Gooney, there you are.
Sorry, my mom called, and my mom's of the generation where you don't play games. You're not online while talking to mother.
Oh gosh.
Yes, Mama. She doesn't understand it. So
yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, sorry. How about if I call you back tomorrow when I'm more awake? Sorry. Anyway.
That's all right. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome. DM Gallibond here. I'm getting started a little bit late, but that's okay. We are here for a game we call The Lost Mine of original D&D, Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And tonight I am joined by two of our players, joined by Amira and by Gooney. And Travis, who plays Theolis, is unable to join us this evening. And Shaun, who has been creating the memorable role of Tomas the Halfling, has told us after the last session that due to some family and other commitments starting in the new year, he's not going to be able to join us anymore. So we have our core of 3 players, 2 of whom are here and both wanted to play tonight. So we're going to go ahead and have a session. Last time we were here on this here game, the party had a big knockdown, drag out fight that lasted pretty much the whole session in the Red Brand hideout. And the upshot of that was that as they began to whittle down the numbers of enemies that were there fighting, the Clark and Amy were able to convince several of the enemies to actually switch allegiances. And with that happening, it was just a matter of time before the Glasstaff himself was captured, and we now pick up with the action where they have gone through and done some looting and figured out what the treasure is and gotten gotten some cool stuff, and now they kind of need to figure out what they're going to do with the prisoners that they have and how they want to disposition Mr. Glasstaff here and see what they want to do about all of that. So I will turn it over to Amy and to Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys want to do? You see that you have your new friend Core and Albon have tied up and secured the Blackstaff over here. And otherwise, all you have around you are pretty much allies.
Well, as you remember, Mason last time doesn't have a clue of what's going on. He just knows, or she just knows, that she has a job now. So she can be a badass being special spy master something or other for Amy character. So yeah, he was, when we last left off, Mason was still sitting on the stairs, had just knocked the ashes out of her little clay pipe and was taking in the scene. So
Okay.
so she'll look up at Amy and kind of roll her shoulders a little bit. So anybody want to fill me in a little bit on what's going on? What happened here? Did we get Amy back?
Oh, Amy, I think you're still muted.
Are you still here, Amy? Oh, there
yep,
she is.
she's typing.
Oh, someone is yelling.
Okay. Okay. I know that feeling.
Oh, yeah. It's not a fun feeling.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not at all. Well,
excuse me.
Well, let's see. Theolis will say, well, Empress Amy may know some details that I don't remember, but basically we were sent here to deliver some goods by a dwarf. And a dwarf was coming ahead of us with Sildar here. And they got captured by King Clark and his trusty band of goblins. And so we had to go. They had already turned over the dwarf to somebody who apparently at one time was both Clark's boss and the Glasstaff's boss. But they had Sildar. We negotiated with Clark the release of Sildar, and you'll sort of see Sildar's eyebrow raise, like, okay, I guess that's what you want to call it. And Clark decided that we were offering a better opportunity than his former boss, and we were going to be able to help install him as the rightful king of Cragmaw Castle. And then we came to town and we realized they were having trouble with these red brands, and this guy here, this ne'er-do-well, seems to be behind them all.
Decided in heavy quotations.
I'm sorry?
What?
Decided in very heavy quotations because he did not really decide, did he?
The
Oh,
decided
yes.
quote unquote quotey fingers.
Yes. Well, and Clark says, "Well, I am only a king, and a king must serve the emperor or the empress. So it's only right that I am in this. Isn't that right, Empress Amy?"
It is now. Okay, so I had like 3 questions that I just remembered.
Okay.
One was we need to ask him what's up with the spiders. 2 is what do we do with the staff because I'm keeping it obviously. I need to know how it works.
Okay.
And 3 is how do I control the slime?
Oh, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I came across a burial chamber. There were a couple of skeletons standing, had been made to look like they're standing guards or something. Not sure if they'll come to life or anything, but they didn't while I had a red cloak on. But I what's with that room? Anyway, continue on. Whatever.
He looks up and he says, "Well, I will answer these in the reverse order they were asked. For you, you should know that those skeletons, they're perfectly harmless. They are, as you surmised, merely propped up to look as though they are guards. You have absolutely nothing to fear in that chamber."
So you say.
I don't fully trust you either.
Let's see. In this edition, we know that we have some skills, and I think one of those skills is what is it? Detect deception. Is that? Am I thinking that? Detect deception. Yes, that's a wisdom skill. So if you have it or if you don't have it, you can roll a wisdom check and see if maybe you can figure out whether he's being honest or not. Okay. Amira, yeah, you don't trust this guy. You don't think
He
he's...
did try to kill him. Obviously, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you don't think he's telling the truth about those skeletons.
Like a little stab, I would be fine with it, but he actually tried to murder us. I can't go with it.
Okay. You asked about the staff, and he says, well, the staff itself is the staff itself is a will, after a time, once you are used to it, it will make you a little bit harder to hit. And you can furthermore call upon the power of the staff to provide even more protection. And then he says, as for the spiders, well, that is an invention of our, and he gives a he scowls at Clark. Our rightful boss, for those who have not become turncoats, and he kind of looks over next to him at Core as well. He says the Black Spider is an elf. An elf perhaps unlike any you have ever seen. Not an elf that we are used to in the Sylvan Empire. Not an elf of fair skin who frolics in the woods. This one calls himself a member of the true elves. The elves who remember that they were the true power in this world before the humans and dwarves and halflings came along. They no longer live on the surface. They live below. And this spider has told me that it won't be long before the elves of his folk lead the Sylvan Empire back to glory once again.
You don't say. Interesting, that.
I don't like.
Then, so that was the thing. And then your first question was about, I forgot what your first question is about. So you were asking about spiders, you asked about the staff, and then
Slime.
Slime. He says the slime. It is a mindless thing. There is no controlling it per se. There is only luring it and keeping it fed by letting it know that in a particular location it is going to get a regular source of food. So we kept it in place and would occasionally bring prisoners or bring foodstuffs for it. And as long as it kept getting regular meals, it remained where it was. I suspect that if you abandon this place and it no longer gets regular meals, it will move on. I would be very careful if I were you. It has a tendency to absorb its food and turn its food into more of its own mass. So
I can attest to that. That was rather disgusting to watch.
Oh. So
he got one of the guards. It was not a good thing.
Oh, idiots. This is why they have failed to keep this hideout secret. I suppose, Core and Clark, in some way I can't fault you for changing allegiances. As for me, if I am captured, I am sure that the town master will want me to hang. And if I try to run, the spider will hunt me down and have me killed in a way that the townmaster could not even dream of. That fat, terrified old fool.
That's the first thing we've agreed on all day. Really don't like that you're not hanging. Something more fun in mind.
He looks at Core, and he looks at Albon, and you can kind of see the wheels are turning. Like, if he really ticked off one of them, could he get one of them to just give him a quick death, as opposed to hanging around for whatever Amy might have in mind.
Kind of look over at Amy and go, "You're rather ruthless, aren't you?" Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Eh?
He called my baby slime mindless. That's rude.
Oh. Okay. Well, whatever trips your trigger, I guess.
So we're gonna feed him to the baby.
You're gonna feed him with the baby.
We're gonna feed him to the slime.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, I must have missed on that one.
Eat first, so he has to experience the pain.
Gotcha.
And when you say that, he turns and he says, "Ha ha ha! I am tied, but with a spell, Core, I can slay you with only my words. Now, die!"
Where is he?
He's
Sorry, spoink him again.
He's over here.
Oh, crap. So I can't really even see him, just hear him.
And as he starts to talk louder, Ripper starts growling, and Albon gets his sword out, and Core.
Can I cast a spell during all this?
Sure, you can cast a spell. You have one. Sleep.
He's talking too much. That's my thing.
Okay, so where do you want to start your square? Just like,
I'm probably gonna put all these 4 to sleep, but like, I need to move them. Starting here, I guess, or I guess starting at him, just to make sure I get him.
Okay, so you, well, gosh, dadgummit, come on. This. So you were thinking of like, oh, come on. Okay, like something like this. Just starting here and moving. I think that's kind of close. It's
Oh no, my slime. Are slimes affected by sleep spells? Okay, we're good.
Yeah. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 by 8. So, yeah, go ahead and roll 2d8. 5. Okay. Yeah, and you're intending to start it with him. Oh, wait a second. goodness. Oh, goodness. That's not good.
What's not good?
That's not good. Okay.
Okay, I'm worried.
I'm very worried. What are you saying?
Okay. Albon here falls asleep. You affected only 5 hit dice worth of monsters. And you wanted to kind of focus the corner of it on the Glasstaff. Well, the Glasstaff has 5 hit dice. And the way the sleep spell works, the way it works in every edition, is it starts with the creatures with the lowest number of hit dice and works up. And so after putting Albon to sleep, there's only 4 hit dice worth of sleep left. So Glasstaff kind of yawns, but he doesn't get knocked out. And 4 here sees Albon, or Core here sees Albon fall asleep. So Core just simply he simply takes out his Morning Star, and he just whacks the Glasstaff over the head with it. It's like
efficiency.
Yeah. So armor class 5. Oh yeah, that'll hit for 7. And that makes him bloody. And then he says, "You don't do that." And actually, when he attacks, Ripper will actually go ahead and attack as well. Let's see. If Ripper hits, this may be all over, but oh yeah, it's all over. He hits, deals 2 damage, and
Dun, dun, dun.
the Glasstaff falls over dead.
Oof.
Because in Core's mind, Glasstaff made a threat, and then Albon fell asleep. And so Glasstaff thought, oh no, he's killed Albon. So
what works works.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're not gonna kill me. Right, yeah, so
I'm just gonna shake Albon awake.
okay. And it's like, whoa, what happened? Whoops, no, that's not. This one is the one that we want to put that X on. Yeah. Alphonse says, oh, what is it?
Huh? Where? When?
He's just waking up after being after having been knocked out.
Gotcha.
So he's trying to figure out what's going on.
It's murder, something we do every day.
Don't you worry about it. We're just gonna do things a little different way.
We can still feed him to the slime, right?
Oh yeah, it's a
We just cover up
it's
the
a
evidence.
scavenger. Yeah, it's a scavenger. It doesn't have any particular, doesn't care much about.
Can we search his body first?
Sure. You find okay. You find a bit of coin. And the bit of coin that you find is thus. Treasure. Okay. So, treasure types individual carried. It's going to be all right. It has whoops. Nope. And then okay, there's that. And then okay, there is that. And then there is that. And okay, so okay. What he has on him is he has a pouch, and this pouch has in it some. It's kind of a largish belt pouch, and it's got something that feels kind of heavy with metal. And then it's got some other things in there. And what you notice is there are 2 small ingots. One is a 1 pound ingot of gold. And 1 pound is the weight of 10 gold coins. So a 1 pound ingot is worth about 10 gold. And then there is a 1 pound ingot of platinum. And so that's worth about 10 platinum coins. And then there's also 2 gems. And those 2 gems are worth 100 gold each. And I will let you decide what types of gems those are. So, Glasstaff, personal treasure, 1 pound bar of gold, 10 GP, 1 pound bar of platinum, 10 PP, 2 gems worth 100 GP each. You decide what kind of gem. All right. So, putting it that way, if you are looking at spells in the future and you see a spell that says, oh, well, in order to cast this, I need to have this kind of gem that's either 100 gold or smaller. You can say, all right, well, one of these gems is this. And then if you want to sell one, you can just say, all right, we're going to sell it. And it's a whatever you decide. So that's the way we'll handle that. Let's see. So yes, green slime's a scavenger. So if you order it, so the minions will carry the Glasstaff out there and toss him down where the slime can grab him, and the slime will happily eat him up.
Yay.
Or is there anything else you wanted to do before you do that?
I'm just going to toss Gooney or Mason the bar of gold.
Okay.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Oh, is this a down payment for something?
Not telling people about the murder that occurs here.
What murder?
Good job.
And the bar quickly disappears.
Clark says, "You see, Empress Amy, I knew she would be good at subterfuge."
Yep, that's my middle name, Subterfuge. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
What next?
Mustard will pipe up and say, my lady, what are we going to do with the other red brands? They're still tied up in the Glasstaff's office or personal chambers. What do we want to do with them? Are we turning them in to the town officials, or will they be joining us, or what?
As tactical chief, that's up to Mason. Forgot their full title. It was very long.
Yeah. So let's see here. Well, I guess the question is if they come with us, which ones would be the ones that are all coming? Or we take with us?
The ones in question would be these 4 that are tied up here in this area up top.
Okay. So I kind of like, well, the question is were they good men to begin with? Were they brainwashed by that thing? And he kind of points to the dead Glasstaff, and like, with him being dead now, do we? It's like he's working through stuff, and he's like, you know what? I think that they should have a dose of their own medicine. I happen to have freed an entire family from the jail cells over there past the crypt, and they looked a little bit worse for wear, but the Red Cloaks happened to have put them in there. I think we should maybe put them in there and just leave their asses there. Yeah.
Can the slime go through bars?
Well, the slime would have to figure out how to get there first.
I was thinking of like leaving a trail. We have another body that hasn't been eaten.
Yeah, Danish. Danish hasn't been eaten.
I kind of look at her and go, see, that's kind of where I draw the line a little bit. If they're complete assholes when we're putting them in the cage, in their cages, then yeah. But you know what? I don't believe in, well, I was just never one of those kids that like to corner a rat and make it so that it couldn't escape. It's just cruel, you know.
I wasn't really planning on killing them, just like making them think the slime was going to eat them and then just like scaring them out of their wits.
Well, that could work as long as we're sure that the slime ain't going to get to them. And then, once you've got whatever you were going to do done, let's just put it this way. Then we can come down and let them go and just go back to your families. Go back to your homes. Get the fuck out of here. Be careful who you work for.
And as you guys are talking, Mustard comes up and says, "Oh, well, I can tell you how we were recruited. We came to Sealy most of us did that were part of the Red Brands. We came to Sealy because we heard that there was going to be some mining operations reopened. And Sildar says, "How did you hear that?" "Oh, well, there were just rumors around. Rumors that somebody was looking to reopen some mines near here. And most of us, we had a background in petty larceny and robbery and pickpockets and things like that. And we thought, well, if there's going to be increased activity, it might be ripe as a place to, uh, make a little bit of a fortune without having to do a whole lot of work." And then we got here, and the Glasstaff, he sort of uh, put out the word that he was recruiting people for a lucrative enterprise. And those of us who met Grista over at the Sleeping Giant, we learned about it and we inquired, and he gave us these nifty red cloaks and basically told us to start asking for protection money from the town businesses. So that's sort of how most of us got here.
Basically being despicable.
Well, of course. I mean, in the last day or two, Empress Amy and Lord Theolis and the others, they have opened my eyes to the absolute error of my ways in the past, and now all I want to do is just find a way to serve the Empress in however humble a capacity I may. I know that I am not worthy to be trusted with much, but anything I can do to.
Can I see if he's just a bootlicker, or is he
I was about to say something
being very honest?
You can make a detect deception check if you wish, unless the Empress wants to say anything.
I want to see how this deception check goes, actually.
Okay.
I'll still say it either way.
Is that going to be a wisdom?
Wisdom check, yeah. Oh.
Any other game, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
See, I'll bet you 10-1 I'm going to roll high in this game, which is going to fuck me over, and I'm going to roll low in all my other games.
You're like, I don't know if I can trust this guy, and you kind of give. Well, I'm not going to tell you what you do. You don't trust this guy, and you can figure out however you want to respond to it.
I don't trust this guy, or I do?
You do not.
Okay. He just kind of looks over at him and goes, "Dude, stop trying to lick her boots. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. Stop kowtowing and doing all that. I'm sure she appreciates the fact that you're willing to be a loyal subject. However, that type of talk and the way you're saying it now is just, it's basically you're a sycophant. So yuck." About that time, she just kind of gets up and
Amy,
because I don't know if saying it out loud will ruin it, but I'm listening to Mason. He's charmed.
Oh. Well, then carry on.
The big one over here, Clark.
He's like, "Oh, sorry. It's just been a bad day. You wake up in a cell because, you have this tavern owner that apparently didn't like my looks and decided to have the red coat throw my ass in here.
Oh yes, Empress Amy. It wasn't until she mentioned it that her face came back to me. But yes, I know why
Came back to him in a nightmare.
I know why she is cross with me, and oh, my lady, he says to Mason, but please, forgive me. I was operating under such an erroneous presumption about the way the world worked. But Empress Amy truly has shown me a better way. But yes, she came into Grista's, and we were told to imprison her and take her and throw her in the cells with the others. So yes, it is natural that she would not trust me. I think.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. All right. Well, continue on. Continue on. Sorry about that. That's just having a bad day. So, so we take these 3 guys or 4 guys or whatever. She's kind of looking around, kind of taking in things. And we go stick them in these cells for a while, leave them without food and water like they did the people that were in there. And make them think that we're going to turn the slime loose on them, I guess. Still seems a little cruel, just because,
They were
you
taking
don't
people
want
down for money. That's kind of cool to me. And I'm not gonna let the slime kill 'em.
Yeah, but there's a difference between shaking people down for money and basically making them like caged animals that think that they're about to die. So it's
I see
cruel,
your
but it
point.
might be funny to start. But once you've taken over and disposed of all the riffraff, then I'm sure we can come and let them out and tell them to go on their merry way and behave themselves, kind of thing. Anyway, don't mind me. Sorry, just getting my bearings here. Anyway, Your Excellency, where do we go from here?
Beating the slime.
Okay.
You still gotta throw him in.
Okay, so you guys take. I had already taken him off the board, but we'll just say you take him over and throw the body, and the slime happily absorbs what's left of the Glasstaff's remains. And then we're going to, I guess, just for the sake of expediency, I'll go ahead and grab these guys and I'll move them over here. And put Breadhead and Vortud in one cell.
Breadhead.
And put that was a
Yeah, I know. It's just funny.
From the chat, yeah. And then Ra and Nesham in the other cell. Now, question for you guys: are you leaving them with red cloaks or not?
Well, we'll take them with red cloaks over there, and then. By the way, anybody that helps, I make sure that they've got like a red cloak or something on.
Okay, all right.
Because, hey, it's been a good warding thing so far. I mean, they haven't woken up and jumped out at us. So
yeah, and
but as soon as we get
about
there,
the red cloaks themselves?
Huh?
Anything special about the red cloaks themselves, or are they just red cloaks?
They're just red cloaks, as far as you can tell, and most of them are kind of grungy and grubby and dirty. And Mustard will say, "Oh yes, the Glasstaff told us anytime we go through the room with the coffins, we must make sure we are wearing our red cloaks."
Kind of figured that out already.
He said it was. He said it was very important.
All right. Well, so once they've got them and they're getting ready to shove them into the cells, Mason is going to pull their cloaks off and basically, toss them into a pile near the door, and then we'll make sure that they are pretty much, she has them pretty much stripped down to their underclothing, their small clothes, as they call them, so she can make sure that they don't have any weapons or, were stupid and left her lockpicks where they were in her boot,
Okay.
So
all right. Yeah.
she's just not going to take the chance that they're going to get out and say something before Empress Amy does her coup.
Okay.
Make sense?
All right. Yeah, they are very distressed when you take their cloaks away from them. No, please, leave our cloaks, please.
Why? Why should I leave your cloaks?
The skeletons will
Spit it out!
The skeletons will kill us if we don't have our cloaks.
Yeah, well, you know what? Now you know how I and the people that I freed that were in here felt. And we didn't know about the zombies outside. So this will just keep you here. I'll occasionally maybe come down and make sure you get something to eat and drink. And then you guys stay here and we'll come down a little bit later. Hi! And about that time, she just tosses their clothes in the middle of the floor and picks up the cloaks and walks off.
I think there's funnel cake around here.
Say what?
I think there's funnel cake around here. Like in the town.
You might be able to find some somewhere in town. We can check and see if somebody has come up with that.
I'm so sorry.
Funnel cake. If there is a funnel cake available somewhere in the town. All right.
Woman after my own heart.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's that's a reason they serve it at county fairs all the time. It's just good stuff. All right.
It's dangerous.
So, you guys will just say, and you can move your tokens over here if you want to, but you guys we're in here with your red cloaks on and nothing is moving. What you had noticed, and I will just read this again since it's been a while. 3 large stone sarcophagi stand within this dusty crypt, and propped up against each sarcophagus is a human skeleton clad in bits of rusty mail. False columns along the walls are carved in the image of spreading oak trees. Double doors in the southeast corner are sheathed in tarnished copper plate. So there are double doors over here, and there's the door to the prison, but you already know where that is. But I don't think anybody has gone in here.
Can you like a perception check or something on this room?
Gone in where? Here?
No. You guys have gone in here, but nobody has gone in here.
Nope.
In this area.
Oop, hang on, gotta move my character here.
Okay. Then let me I'll just get Mustard since he's kind of the one, and we'll just presume that other people are along, and if we need them, we'll drag them over when the time comes.
So I'm kind of like, I've been curious about what's been in these.
Yeah, I want to do a perception check, but I also don't want to touch them.
Let's see. What is the
Bapa Mau Mau.
Give me
Shang-a-lang-a ding dong.
Give me a wisdom check to find out who. I guess Amy. Wisdom check. Okay.
You jinxed it. You said you're gonna roll high.
Yeah. Amy, you notice actually Mustard stays away as much as he can. He tries to stay towards the middle and avoid getting too close to any of these things. And you sense that while these skeletons are perfectly still, you sense they are not completely dead in the sense of totally inanimate. They aren't exactly alive, but they're not exactly dead either.
They're only
And
slightly alive.
they
That
don't
magical liar.
yeah, they don't seem to be they haven't reacted to you, and you realize all three of you are wearing the red cloaks, and Mustard has told you that they were told never to come in here without red cloaks. So that's about. And if you try to ask Mustard anymore, he doesn't know anymore. He's kind of he does what he's told.
We were right about him lying to us.
Ow.
Yeah. So
yeah. So she kind of looks at Empress Amy and goes, "Well, think it's worth it, or should we just mosey our way on over and through?"
Don't start fights, only finish them. Let's go.
Okay.
And then Mustard says, yeah, we must be careful in here. There's a trap in this hole. I know how to disarm it. I've had to come this way many times myself. And so, whoops. He opens the door here, and you guys see a hallway, 10-foot by 10-foot hallway. Thick dust covers the flagstones of this somber hallway. The walls are decorated with faux columns every 10 feet, and double doors at the west end of the hall are sheathed in copper plate, now green with age. A relief carving of a mournful angel graces the doors. And there is a Mustard goes over to these columns, which have flowers on them. He goes over to this column here, and there's kind of leaves and flowers and whatnot, and there's one leaf that you notice when he grabs it. It's kind of obvious because the leaf sort of sticks out in a way that the other leaves don't, and he just presses that down and pushes it flush with the column, and he says, "Okay, trap is now locked. It won't open." And then he points to the hallway in the middle of the hall, and he says, "Yes, you would not want to step on that. Without it, there are it's a pit, and the pit is 20 feet deep, and there are iron spikes at the bottom. Quite nasty to anyone that falls on them."
Oh, fun.
And then he will point out. He says, "I don't know if we're planning to eventually take over this place and commandeer it or not, but just so you'll know, here on this column there is another way that you can arm and disarm the trap. So I will leave that to you. I will leave it locked for now, and we'll let you all decide if you want to arm it or disarm it." And he kind of will, with his foot, he'll sort of give you an outline, And then he will go ahead and make sure that you guys know that that's where that is. Right. So you can safely traverse that part of the room, and there is a hallway then that goes to the south, right where he is. He says, "Oh, we're getting close to where we keep all the provisions, the storerooms and such."
Okay. Mason is trying to watch pretty much everything, every little detail, every little motion. Hang on here. Whoop. Come here. There we go. Sorry. Da-da-da-da-da.
Okay. So as you guys kind of walk through here, you get into this area, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up the rest of this to show you what's here.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Coming through.
Oh, goodness gracious. Reveal areas, not hide areas. Da-da-da, and then da-da-da. Okay, so in this area here, the door opens into a 5-foot wide landing, 15 feet above a large cellar, with stone steps descending to the floor in 2 short flights. Another door stands beneath the stairs to the north. A large stone cistern occupies the western part of the room, whose walls are lined with kegs and barrels. And this, you understand, looking up here, you see this looks like a door leading into a cellar from what would probably be a main floor. This hallway that you've been in comes out on the cellar level. So you have been down in the basement of this thing the whole time. And this is just a landing from the stairs to come around and come down here.
Okay.
So then there's a door over here next to the cistern, which is the only obvious exit other than this door and the door that you guys came in.
Okay. So kind of look over at everybody. Look around. This is your storeroom?
He says, yes, yes, it's here. The water there is fresh. It comes from a spring or a well that apparently was part of the manor, and it is it's very good, in fact. And in the barrels are some salted pork and beef, flour, sugar, apples, some ale, of course. Always need ale.
Interesting. Is there anything else? What's through this door?
Oh, that's just a place where it's like I believe the Glasstaff called that a crash pad. It's a place where those of us who might need a place to stay, if we get caught out of the town after dark, we could just stay here. There's a couple of beds, and there's more storage in there. And presuming
Well,
that
you
guys
go
open
open
the
it.
door. Okay.
Yeah.
He will. He'll go open it. And inside this room appears to be a storeroom. Preston is Service's living quarters. 2 double bunks stand against the wall near the door, while barrels and crates fill the southern half of the chamber. And, you know, more of the same in terms of what's in here. Okay, Amy, I see you're hanging out here by the water.
Is it water or wine?
Oh, no. It's water. It's water.
Kind of wanders in. Oop! Apparently, I grabbed a hold of mustard. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna make rolls for because of
Something Mason just did.
no,
Whoops.
not because of something Mason just did, but because of the way this edition works. Okay, so go to the character sheet and look and this and say, okay, so I'm gonna roll on this. Okay, and then for this character, roll on this. Okay. Mason, as you are coming out of this room, something catches your eye in that pool.
Okay. I kind of back up a little bit.
Okay.
And look down.
There, down in the water. There is a rope that is tied to a spike just underneath the water level on the south wall of the cistern. So, like on this wall. And this cistern is like 10 feet deep. And so, like a foot underneath the surface of the water, there's a rope tied to it, and it drops down about 5 feet, and it's attached to a satchel.
Oh. So I will actually pull out my dagger, have it in one hand, and because, I'm a thief. I don't take things for granted. I don't want something coming up and biting my arm or something. So dagger in one hand, and will then very carefully, while intently watching into the water for anything, kind of touch the water to make sure it's not acid or some stupid ass thing. And if it doesn't burn her, then she's going to reach in to that foot and try to grab a hold of that rope and pull it off of the spike.
Okay. You're dipping the tip of the dagger in the water or dipping your finger in the water?
Just the very touch of tip of the finger pad.
Okay. It feels wet. It feels kind of cold. And your finger does not begin to dissolve.
Okay. So yeah, as soon as it's gonna tap, tap, tap. Okay. Then I'll reach in.
Okay. Reach in, you pull up the satchel. It's not terribly heavy. And as you pull it out of the water, you realize it's an oiled skin satchel. So it has been tied extremely tightly and fastened extremely tightly at the top. You think, well, you're not sure, but everything inside may still be dry, and definitely the surface or the material, the leather material has been oiled to such an extent that water is not going to be able to get into it through the skin.
So she'll basically pull it up, kind of shake off the water a little bit, and then go find a barrel to sit down for a moment while she opens it up and takes a look. What's inside?
Okay. What is inside is you pull it, you pull these things apart, you open them up, and you see a clean set of ordinary travel clothing. You see a small, modest-sized pouch, large coin purse, we'll say, that clinks with the sound of coins.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 crystal vials that contain liquids in them. One crystal vial is a red fluid. It is a red fluid, Amy, that you and Theolis would recognize because you have seen these before. You know that if you are hurt and you drink one, it makes you feel somewhat better. This in fact is a potion of healing.
Okay.
I'm just giving you guys that because somebody, people in the party already know. The other one is a you can tell that there's something in it, but it's, you're trying to look for like where the water line is, but it's, and maybe there's like a little shimmer, like maybe something that it's like the water line, but it's really hard to see anything in it. It looks like it's empty, but if you shake it, it sounds, it's got that sound like liquid is sloshing around in there, and it feels like it's got stuff in there, but yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen any of these before, so I'm not going to give you this one.
I mean, how big is this vial? Is it like small perfume bottle type vial, or like
that's
small decanter, or what?
That's a really good question. Let's take a look and see. Okay.
And then I guess the question is it a vial or a file? PH.
Small glass vials. Okay. So, yeah. It basically for the sake of Amy, since she knows about some of these, she realizes that these 2 are single dose potions, and 90% of the potions you run across in this edition are going to be single dose potions. Now, the okay, let's see. What is the? Yes, okay. Reading straight out of the rules for this edition of the game, a character sipping the potion taking just a taste will realize what the potion's effect is. Character can then label the potion and keep it for later use. Sipping a potion does not decrease the potion's effect or duration. So that is the way they had potions in this edition.
Okay. I'll come over and show Amy the outfit. Does it look larger, smaller? Something for man, woman, what?
It's human sized, and it's not ostentatious, but it's very good quality.
Okay.
Belongs to somebody who kind of has money. Yeah, and
any idea how much in the coin purse?
It's men's clothes.
Okay.
So, yes, 50 gold in the coin purse.
Okay. Cool.
So, 50 GP in the coin purse. From the...
I kind of look over at Amy and go, do I need to pay a tithing or something on this?
Well, you found it, so technically no. But I am trying to build a golden statue of myself, so I do need gold. I'm not giving that up.
Just kind of looks at her like, I'm not sure if I should take that serious or not. I mean, he doesn't say anything out loud. He's kind of, or she's kind of like, Well, when it comes to the time to decorate the outside, I'll donate a few extra gold coins to make sure that your hair is just so.
As it should be.
And quickly goes to inspect something else. It's like, I got a windfall. What?
So, did we want to taste the potion or have somebody taste the potion? I kind of
look at the dweeb with us, Mustard, and go, hey, Mustard, do you know what this is?
He looks and he says, no, I've never seen that before. Where did you find it?
Laying around, floating around. Here, taste it. What's it taste like?
It doesn't look like there's anything in there.
Well, when you shake it, it sloshes. There's got to be something in there.
Oh. Well, are you sure it's safe?
Well, it was in with a healing potion, so I'm going to assume it should be.
If it hurts you, I will heal you, but we need to know.
Okay, and you just want me to taste it?
Yeah, just give it a little taste, figure out what it is.
Okay.
Little sip.
All right, he takes it, he smells it, and he says, an interesting bouquet. I'm getting notes of elderberries and chocolate, perhaps like some burned coffee. And then he said, oh, okay, not that kind of tasting. And he then takes a tiny little sip and he hands it back to you. And as he is smacking his lips and kind of touching his lips with his tongue, you can see that the edge of his lips and the tip of his tongue, just momentarily, they start to fade a little bit. And then after a few seconds, they come back, and he says, I think if you drank that whole thing, it would make you invisible.
Because I was like, the moment his lips started to fade, I'm like, goody.
Don't say.
Yes. So
Well, you
that
could
is
keep that because I'm not subtle.
Say what?
You can keep that because I'm not subtle whatsoever.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure that I use it in your honor. Yeah. So anything you need me to do, sneak around, I can do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Mason can add to her character sheet. You decided it's a her, right?
Yeah, it's a her. But I keep going
Okay.
her. Because nobody can
it's
see.
like,
I mean, her voice is feminine.
yeah.
But the rest of her is kind of just a gray, very, yeah.
Mason is Mason.
Mason is Mason.
Mason is Mason. Yes. Reminds me of a show that I hope will be back before too long, because it was actually pretty good, and they stopped producing it because of COVID at just the time where it was kind of okay. What happens next?
What one was this?
Billions. It's a show on Showtime.
Heard of it, didn't watch it.
Yeah, it's got a guy in it who is in Band of Brothers. He's the lead in there. It's really good, and he's an English actor, but he's playing an American investment banker, and he doesn't have a trace of an English accent. So it's like, oh, okay. I've seen him in a couple of other things. He's really good. But anyway, there's a character in there called Mason, and so that's why I was thinking of that.
Gotcha.
That's all right. So the you have the potion of invisibility, the potion of healing, 50 gold, and a set of travel clothes.
Okay.
We ended up we did make the invisibility potion, because I remember in like a few sessions ago we stole the ingredients to the attempt invisibility potion.
Well, you get the sense that what he was trying to do is he was trying to mass produce invisibility potions, and he probably has. I mean, he probably had purchased some invisibility potions, but he was basically trying to figure out how to manufacture them, like create a potion factory. Kind of. This was kind of like his version of the Walter White RV. Sort of his lab where he was trying to cook up invisibility potions, but he hadn't quite gotten everything just right that he needed.
Gotcha.
All right, so our bad guys are in the prison. Our leader of the bad guys is disposed of. We've kind of explored through this whole area. What else do we want to do at this point?
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
I'm good. Yep.
All right. Now, I don't know how much of this is the character Amy being sort of tongue in cheek, and how much of this is the character Amy trying to figure out if there's really a possible way of doing it. But there has been some discussion of whether or not there can be any kind of control or for lack of a better word, taming or charming of the slime. Is that something that Amy is really interested in doing, or is that just we're gonna leave it alone and not mess with it?
If I can control it, I will take the slime. If it's too much work, I will probably just leave it here and come back every now and then to feed it.
Okay.
Because I do love the slime. It's very cute.
Okay,
Ugh.
there is a okay. What am I looking for? I'm looking for give me an intelligence check. Amy.
This is the most important. This is the most important role of the night.
Wow.
Oh, my
Wow.
heart.
Okay.
My heart. I was so scared.
Okay. Yeah, you have heard that that there are arcane wizards. You don't know whether you'd find any in this kind of backwater town here, but you know you could find one in a big city. And if you could afford it, there are wizards that are able to make potions of plant control. And basically, what plant control potions do is they will allow you to control plant monsters and other non animal, unintelligent creatures.
I know how
So
much these
you
things
would
are.
think that they would probably be able to be used to control a green slime. No, you don't know how much they are. And in your experience, um, kind of rare and weird potions like that, it's sort of if you find somebody that can make it, that may be the only person within 100 miles that can make it, and so basically they'll charge whatever they want to charge for it. Now,
Reasonable.
maybe somebody needs something done and you can negotiate with them, or maybe there's maybe there's some sort of an agreement you can come to, but you first have to find somebody that would be able to make it, and then find out from them how much they would charge.
Did I send Mustard on that mission to like find the person to bring them back?
Well, you know that Mustard is a little bit smarter than Clark, and so you know that his charm is only going to last 7 days, not a whole month. So
Right.
danger in sending him off is that he could get either all the way to where he's going or halfway to where he's going, and then go, wait a minute, why am I doing? And then just say, okay, shit, I'm just taking off, and you never hear from him again. And he'd never finish his mission.
Well, he likes money. I'll just promise him a platinum, and then when he gets back, I'll recharm him or kill him. Depends on how it goes.
Wow. I'll just kill him.
It's a coin toss.
Well, if you tell him that there is a mission to be done, he would set off on that mission, and you would know that when he tells you it's something that he will do for you, he would do that. He will ask if you can make any kind of provision, like a horse or something like that, to make it quicker and easier to travel, and sending somebody on a long mission, that sounds like kind of a reasonable request, but then it's a matter of how much resources do you guys have, and
Are there any
what you want
horses
to
near
invest.
here that I can buy?
Oh yeah, I mean, you could buy a horse in the town, and in this edition, let me just check and see. What the actual price for a horse is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because there is equipment prices, and yeah, they have. I think they have all kinds of creatures that you can buy. Like cattle and horses and all that kind of good stuff that you can purchase in here. All right, there's a riding horse is 75 gold. A riding horse with all of the tack and harness is and a saddlebag, because if you buy everything at once, they'll throw the saddlebag in. It's kind of like the clear coat. They'll throw the clear coat in for you. The whole deal would be 100 gold for riding horse with saddle and tack and a saddlebag.
And Mustard ride a horse without a saddle?
No, but the other options are, if you didn't want to do that, you could buy a mule with the saddle and a saddlebag for 60 gold, or you could buy a pony with a saddle and a saddlebag for 65 gold.
The pony will eventually grow up. Let's go with that one.
Okay. All right. Okay, so just mark off the
pony.
It sounds like child labor. I'm not happy about it. I want to go with my
short.
How tall is Mustard?
Oh, Mustard is kind of average height, but yeah, I mean, you guys have seen humans riding on ponies. They're
but they're not a full-size horse.
No, they look a little bit odd, but the pony can carry enough.
Let's just get the horse. Well, how much was it for like the saddle and stuff?
The total was 100 gold.
Dang, okay.
Okay. Well,
I could probably bargain that down.
Okay. Now, they will try to sell you a wagon to go with it, but you could go and buy a draft horse, and then buy the saddle and the saddlebag, and that's 70 gold. But of course, Mason, he's going to need to scramble to get up on the back of that draft horse, and then the thing, I mean, he's just going to look like a kid sitting up there on that thing.
Why is a pony more expensive than a draft horse?
Well, it's not. Pony is 75, or no, pony is 65 with the pony is 65 for the pony, the saddle, and the saddlebag. Draft horse is 70 for the draft horse, the saddle, and the saddlebag. So they're just about the same price, and the riding horse is more expensive. And then if you want a trained war horse, well, that's really expensive.
Okay.
So those are all of the options there. And then, of course, Mason or Mustard also has shoe leather.
To eat or chew or put in a pot or what?
No.
Shoe leather.
If
like, what is shoe leather?
if Empress Amy decides she doesn't want to spend the money for a horse, then he can always walk.
It's not like I don't have
gotcha.
money for a horse. It's just expensive.
Yeah. And of course, there's always the possibility that if the charm wears off while he still has it, he's just like, okay, I'm getting out of here and I can get away faster on the horse. And, maybe he won't keep the horse because he doesn't want to have that tracked down. But, they'll find it. They'll find it off in a ditch on the far side of town, stripped for parts.
Gotcha.
I'm promising him money in hopes he'll come back.
Yeah. So if you mark off the gold, we'll say that he will get on his way, and then I will have to decide.
And I try to bargain and see if I can get a lower price, even though I'm not going to be there.
Oh, well, I mean, if you guys don't have any reason to hang around here, we can just sort of say you're back in town, and we can actually move the map back to the town. And before we get really into that, we're about halfway through our session, so I think this would be a good time to go ahead and take our break.
Okay.
I have 6 after. Let's go ahead and come back at 15 after the hour, and we will continue on. And viewers, I'm going to throw the music on. If you guys have any questions about our game or what we are doing here, throw them in the chat during the break.
Good luck, because maybe we don't know what we're doing either. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
All right. Let's go ahead and get the... Okay. And yours, we will be potentially a few moments delayed in resuming because Amira is having some food delivered,
Delivery.
which is
What?
not a bad thing. Oh, there you go. All right. Did your food get here?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. Well, just let us know if you have to run. If you have to run, get it, and otherwise we will go ahead and get resume our...
Amy, why are we
session.
getting horses again?
So I can control my baby slime. Muy importante.
What are you
Yes.
gonna do? Try to saddle the stupid thing?
Fine.
No. Send Mustard to the big city to see if he can find somebody that
Oh, I'm like,
can make the potion and either bring them back or bring back information of how much it's going to cost, all that kind of stuff. So, so yes, we are back here in the town, and the we're also going to say that Tomas actually, when he gets back to the Stonehill Inn, there is a message for him that he is urgently needed back in his village. So he will leave with Amy money to pay the remainder of what's owed to the smith for the saddle that's been being made for Ripper. But of course, a human is too big to ride a wolf. So now you have a wolf with a war saddle, but nobody to ride it.
One of the goblins could probably fit.
Yeah, one of the goblins could probably fit. So yeah, you could actually get one of the goblins to be trained. And
Would it be better to send the goblins off instead of Mustard?
No. Goblins walking into a town, they're gonna get slaughtered by the first town guard.
Dang it. Okay, I guess Mustard's our only hope.
Yes.
What about Albon
you
and
are
Barker,
our
though?
only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan.
Albon and Barker gonna
Sorry.
get killed too, or no?
I'm sorry?
What about Albon and Barker?
Oh yeah, they well, they'll go if they would go if Sildar would ask them to, because they're kind of here. They've been paid by Sildar, and Sildar's kind of starting to try to convince them, hey, maybe we can clean this whole area up if we get people. Clark actually, as strange as it sounds, Clark actually might wind up being the best thing that's happened to this whole region, as long as Amy keeps him under control. And
I
they're kind of
fully
like,
intend to.
and they're kind of like, yeah, that sort of makes sense. How he would perhaps be, a good intimidating ruler. And because Clark is there, well, Core is like, sure, why shouldn't we follow this? And the goblins are all like, yeah, we got jobs to do now. And so they're all just sort of falling into line. Because Clark has been this big, intimidating presence, and now he treats Amy like he's just a little pussycat, and so the rest of them are all following him. All right. So, yeah, the getting back to town, probably there at the Lion Shield Coster, you could buy a horse, and you have your skill in what is it? Is it like a bartering skill or something that you have, or
Bargaining.
Bargaining skill? Yes. So they will tell you. Oh my goodness! Wow.
I'm rolling
All
so
right.
good today. I'm so happy, and I don't want to jinx it now that I've said it.
Okay. So, what were you thinking of offering? Because if you're looking at the horse, the package for the whole horse is 100 gold, and you got a really good roll. So, what were you wanting to offer them? Or do you
80
just
gold.
want to make? You just want to make 80 gold? Yeah. They're like, they look at you, and they're starting to be stories, and they're like, wait a minute, you're the ones that got rid of the red brands, right? And we don't have to worry about them anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah. 80 gold. Oh, yeah. Actually, I tell you what. I will sell you the horse at cost for 75 gold, and I will throw in 2 saddlebags and the tack and harness for free. So 75 gold, and it's all yours. Oh, wonderful. This town is finally going to be able to start not having to put up with those damn red brands anymore. I suppose they probably stole all the gold they took, and they buried it somewhere, or they have it off, and we'll probably never see that again. That's a shame. But and so it's like they don't seem to think that they're going to get anything back, just because the red brands have been dealt with. But they're very happy. And then as you start to go through the town, you see that more and more people have heard about this, and people will start to they'll start to wave to you as you go through, and they'll thank you. And now, is Clark going through town with you guys? Or Clark and the goblins, did they go out by another way and head back to the camp?
I low-key want to take them.
You low-key want to take them? Okay. They're all just kind of dressed in like cloaks to sort of hide their appearance. Cowls pulled over their heads and everything. Okay, so there's 2 bugbears then, because there's Clark and there's Core, and there's like 4 or 5 goblins, and then the rest of you are humans. So the goblins, they kind of root through, before you guys leave the manor. They root through all the clothing, and they find stuff that they can kind of cut off that will fit them. They look very baggy on them, but the legs, they're able to cut the legs off so that they're the right length. And then for Core and for Clark, they find these boots that are not terribly well made, but they are tall boots, and then they find some trousers that will fit them around the waist, but the trousers are kind of short on them. So the two bugbears are walking along. They've got these cloaked, hooded cowls on their head, and the cloaks pulled down low, or the cowls pulled down low so you can't see their faces. Same with the goblins. The goblins look like, well, they look like at one time they might have been extremely overweight halflings and they lost a lot of weight, and so now their clothes are just sort of baggy, hanging all over them, is sort of the impression they give. And the bugbears are walking along with the bottoms of the pant legs about halfway down the boots. So kind of back in the day, when I was in school, that's what we used to call the high water pants.
Mhm.
So that it looked like you were trying to keep the bottom of your pants out of the floodwaters if they came. So
Yep.
that's kind of what the bugbears look like. It's a little bit comical. Um, and the bugbears are also sort of keeping their arms tucked in because, of course, they have these big, long, gangly arms. If they were just hanging down, they would look, and their arms and hands are all hairy and everything. So that would be sort of a giveaway. So they're keeping their arms kind of tucked up and they're hunched down a little bit so that they don't look quite so tall, although their legs are really long. And yeah. So they're not talking, but it's like, oh, wow, you 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 really were serious when you said you were going to bring an army and deal with them. Oh, that's so wonderful, wonderful. Um, have you been to tell the townmaster the good news yet?
Not yet.
Oh, well, he will be so happy. Meanwhile, I'm going to run off to Master Stonehill's inn. I'm sure that Master Stonehill and um, and Lenine from the Miners Exchange, Halia and Sister Grail and uh, the Eldermath, they will all want, and Barthen, yes, of course, Barthen, they'll all want to have a celebration. I'm going to go tell them the good news. And so they start to run off, and people start to run off to other different businesses and whatnot. And as you kind of are moseying on over towards the town masters, indeed you see a flurry of activity around the Stonehill Inn, and it looks like they're starting to set up some things outside as though they're going to have like a big celebration. It's probably, you guys started your exploration in the last hour before dawn, so it's probably like mid-morning now, and you get the feeling that by probably by sundown they're gonna be all geared up for a really big party here in town. And so you head over to the town masters, and Harbin Wester is there, and he's working on his accounts or whatever it is that he does as the town master. And he looks up and he says, "Oh, friends, friends, friends! Such a pleasure to see you. Such a pleasure to see you." And then he looks, and because he's met Clark, he kind of has a sense, these big hulking but hunched over creatures, and then he sees the goblins and it, kind of in their disguises, and he's like, "Oh, oh, oh, to what do I owe this pleasure?"
Meanwhile, Mason will kind of step in front of them a little bit to, like, give them a little bit of shielding and go, "Why don't you talk to me?" Or or someone else that's a little taller. Just don't worry about them.
Oh, okay.
Take a breath. Take a breath. You're okay. Do you think we do all that work and then, like, she's kind of like, would you think we do all that work and then jeopardize what we saved? So, chill. Anyway, let's start over.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm. How silly of me. And I don't believe that I've had the pleasure of meeting you. What is your name, my lady? And
And if
says
he could
that to me.
only see her eyes at this point doing this, practically rolling back into her skull. It's just Mason.
Mason. Oh, that's a lovely name, and
No, it's not. It's a man's name. It's not a lovely name. Don't give me that shit. Daddy wanted a boy. He got a girl. So guess what? I was named Mason.
And he's kind of like, he kind of looks a little bit like a goldfish. His mouth is just sort of opening and closing, and he's not saying anything. Like he can't quite process how
she looks at him and says, "Close your mouth. You look like a codfish."
I'm just gonna watch this go down. It's entertaining.
Anyway,
well, I presume you all have a report on the red brands then.
Yeah.
We'd give you their heads, but they're in slimes.
Scare him like that?
Their heads are in slimes?
A very cute one. I think I might name him Jeffrey. Maybe Jeremy.
Meanwhile, Mason looks at the guy and goes, "Just nod and smile, honey. Nod and smile. Just let's get down to the nitty-gritty. They've been taken care of. Okay?
Oh.
That's all you need to know of. You won't ever have to deal with them again."
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
Just don't worry about the details.
Okay. And now, as for the matter of the Tresendor Manor, were you all thinking of keeping that as a stronghold, or was that going to revert back to the town? The Tresendar family, there are no known descendants of them still living, so it had been kind of an eyesore, and nobody knew what to do with it until the red brand showed up. Unfortunately, I suppose we should do something with it. If you all are not going to use it, we should do something with it to prevent it from falling into hands like that again.
Probably.
Well, that's another matter. Let me go back here and see. What did we say? I think we said.
Might as well keep it, because no one in town's gonna take Clark and them and just put them in there so they have beds or shelter around them.
Okay. And Clark obviously knows this guy, so Clark will if Amy says that, Clark will say, "Oh, well, yes, yes, that would be a the with with the with the permission of the Empress. Oh, I think that I shall appoint a I think I shall appoint a governor for the province, and the we can rebuild the Tresendar Manor as the residence of that, and of course for the town here, town master, there will still be the town master position, so you will still have the town master will still have the authority over the town, but
Now,
this will be a this will be an outpost, if you will, from Cragmaw Castle, from whence we can gain intelligence reports and perhaps marshal troops if there are threats to the area from the outside. Yes, yes, that uh, my Empress. That is a lovely plan that you have, as all your plans are. Yes, yes, and.
Meanwhile, Mason looks like she's in just serious discomfort with all this. Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
And he says, Empress Amy, was there not a discussion from the town master that there would be some payment upon dealing with the red brands?
there definitely was. And more other people promised us stuff too.
Well, then I am certain that such an honorable personage as the town master would be prepared to pay the sum as agreed. And
Does anyone remember the sum? Because I do not.
Hey, don't look at me. I'm new here.
Checking the notes.
Yeah, I think that there was a. We have such an active chat in this game. Okay. All right.
I never did my class.
I think there was a discussion that everybody would get, all the characters would get like 250 gold. Each character would get 250 gold. I think that's right.
I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So,
I should have done my XP. I'm at level 5 right now. Not level 5, level 3.
Oh, really? Okay. So, Town Master will indeed fork over 250 gold to each of you guys. So for all right, so each of the PCs gets 250 GP from the town master. That would be Theolis. Amy, and Mason. All right. So you guys can add that to your character sheets that you have gotten paid, and let's see,
250 gold. I spent 75 just now in the horse place.
Yeah. And then you guys will get the saddle for Ripper, and that's just, I'm not even going to ask you to take that out of any funds, because we're just going to say that since that was a deal that Tomas was doing, we'll just say that he left money for that, so you don't have to take it out of pocket. And okay, so killed the Glasstaff. Got paid by Townmaster.
You could probably go and collect the health potions from the fake gold statue lady.
Okay.
I'm still mad about that.
Do I want to even know?
Okay, so yes, you guys can mosey on over towards the shrine and Sister Gareel. And she will very happily give each of you I think it was a total of 3 potions. Is that what she said? So she'll give each of you 1 potion of healing. And so you can add another potion of healing. Each PC gets 1 potion of healing from Sister Gareel at the shrine. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, so the rest of the day, then I guess the only other question is, with the red brands dealt with, what, if anything, do you want to either tell the townmaster or do yourselves about Grista, the dwarf that owns the sleeping giant?
Basically find some way of getting her ass in deep trouble.
Revenge.
I wouldn't
Okay.
say so much revenge as, yeah, revenge is a good word. Yeah.
Okay, so what sort of trouble are we thinking about here? Are we like telling everybody that they shouldn't go there so that she doesn't have any more business and she has to close up and leave town? Or
Yeah, I think that would be a good one.
Okay.
Because yeah, I she deserves it.
Okay. Dill has an idea. Hey, not a whole lot of people know that Tomas had to leave, right?
Only us, I think.
Yeah. And a lot of people around here saw him, didn't they? I think I think some of his clothes are still up in his room. I've got an idea. I could go put on some of his clothes that people would recognize, and I could come down here and I could say, "Oh my God, I had a drink over at Grista's at the Sleeping Giant, and I woke up like this."
I like that. Yeah, that's
Go for
funny.
it.
That would scare the hell out of these people.
That's good. That's good. Go with that.
Ruin her business.
Okay. So, and he says, "Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow morning." Oh, this is gonna be so funny.
Just don't give it away and ruin it.
Okay. I won't tell anybody. I won't tell anybody other than the other goblins that I'm gonna do that.
Well, and you got to swear them to secrecy too, because they like to
Goblins
yap.
talk. Mm-hmm.
I'll go talk to Clark. See what he thinks. And so goes over and you see first Clark gets this kind of grin and chuckle, and then Dill sees one of the other goblins and goes to wave at him, and Clark just grabs him, puts a big hand over his mouth, and just points a finger at him and shakes his head. No.
Oh, brother.
And so the goblin is chastised and does not tell his plan to the other goblins on the advice of Clark that
Gotcha.
that probably would not be a good idea because everybody would know about it before the or the next morning. Yeah. And so now you guys, obviously you have your rooms at the Stonehill Inn. You're going to set up the bugbears and the goblins at Tresendar Manor. Clark will express Clark is very tactful. His charm is making him kind of tactful. So he will say, "My Empress, I have a question. Do you have any specific instructions for us regarding the slime? I feel a bit anxious about the goblins. You know, they say that there is a saying that the humans have bastardized. The humans say that curiosity killed the cat, but the original bugbear saying is that curiosity killed the goblin. If they will not make the wisest decision. So, are there any specific instructions that you would have for us about that slime? Are we trying to keep it, or should we find a way to destroy it, or what do you think?
We're not killing the slime. It is my baby.
Oh, well. Then congratulations. I think are in order. I'm sure you and the father are very proud.
I'll have to explain this to Clark later. I have a deep affection for this.
We're sure you do.
That's a bad way to explain it. Hold on.
Well, I understand this, and he reaches down and he scratches Ripper behind the ears. Yes, you definitely form an attachment. Why, Ripper is almost like part of the family. Um, I was ready to give him up for the good of the throne, so that Tomas could use him in his scouting missions. But for now, we will. I think we will still allow Ripper to be a scout, but we will just have to find someone who is trustworthy uh, to be entrusted with him. So yes, yes, I can understand this attachment. Well, we will definitely see that the slime is not harmed. I'm just.
We
Well,
thought
I'm
to
just
build like a
concerned if
makeshift
it.
cage, like not a cage, but also like a fence around it so the goblins can't get.
Oh, this is very wise. This is very wise. Okay, well, I will talk with Core and with um, we'll talk with Core and some of the other advisors and see what they can come up with, and then we will set the goblins to constructing this. They are, you have to keep uh, sharp watch on the goblins, but as long as they are controlled properly, they can be quite a productive uh, uh, force of labor. We will make sure that this is taken care of. All right, all right. Well, you just leave that to us. Thank you, Empress. We will be heading back to the manor and begin cataloging the provisions and taking an inventory and seeing sort of what can be salvaged. And we will put together uh, a list of things that we think need to be done, and we will consult with you in terms of what the order is that we should be doing them. So, if you have no further need for me today, I will take my leave. And he looks at both of you.
I kind of just stuff my hands into my pockets or into my belt loops and just kind of like, yeah, I guess I'm good. She looks over at Amy. You?
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay, so we'll let them go off and deal with Trisendar Manor, and that will leave you and the two of you, the silent Theolis coming along, and then Albon Barker and Sildar.
Okay.
That will head back to the Stonehill Inn. And indeed, as the afternoon wears on, there's a much more festive mood. There are extra provisions brought in from not only Barthens, but also the Lion Shield Coster. Townspeople come and they start to decorate. The smithy has, or the smith has created, some festive streamers. The lettersmith has, and the Eldermath from the orchard brings up a cart that has a few large tubs, and he has some apples, and he sets up things so people can bob for apples, stuff like that. And the Alderleafs show up, and the woman and the two children that you all rescued from the dungeon there at the Red Brand hideout, they show up as well. And
Do
so
they look like
they're.
they've at least got a chance to get cleaned up or anything? Or
Oh yes. They look cleaned up. They look rested, and everybody is so happy to see them. And they start telling the story of um, how Mason broke them out of jail, and that those mean red brands, and they don't know what happened to the rest of the red brands,
Mm-hmm.
or what happened to Glasstaff, because they had fled before all of that went down.
Yeah.
But they knew there was a big fight, and that they were able to run away to safety, and they're very happy. And Mrs. Alderleaf is extremely relieved, because now her child going out and playing in those woods is not going to be near that hideout anymore. And he says that he's going to get some of his friends together, and they're going to go explore the old manor house. Now that the red brands are dealt with, he thinks it sounds like fun to go.
Meanwhile,
play in
he's
the old mansion.
yeah. The Mason looks at him. No. Empress Amy gets the chance to go through it first. Then you can explore. She may decide to want to take it as a residence. You don't want to deny that, do you?
Oh, no.
But you know what? We'll go through it. If she decides she doesn't want it, then it's all yours.
I wanted to be more like a shelter.
It would be like the best treehouse ever. Be a fort. We could just play like we were generals and outlaws, and we could go hide and seek, and we could run through all of the rooms. We could climb up all the chimneys, and we could go down and explore.
Yeah. We'll worry about that if and when the time comes. And I'm sure you'll find lots of fun things to do with it. So, run along now. Go away.
Okay.
Bye.
And
have fun. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We cannot give that palace to the kids, because there's like the scary skeleton murderers.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out something to do about the undead. Since that doesn't seem to have been affected by the Glasstaff
being gelatized.
Demised. Yeah. Apparently they were given a task to do, and they're gonna do it until something makes it so they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Whether that's just over time they crumble into dust and nothing, or whether they get turned or destroyed or whatever. So, big celebration at the Stonehill Inn that night. Master Stonehill is just beside himself. The town master has that perpetually slightly bewildered look that is on his face. He seems caught between relief that the problem with the red brands has been dealt with, hopeful that this means the town is on the verge of growing and prospering, and at the same time a little anxious about something, although he won't tell anybody. The few people that seem to notice he has a little anxiety, he won't say anything. But then again, people like Master Stonehill, they're used to seeing the town master slightly perplexed about things. That for these last couple of months, he's just been kind of living in constant fear of these red brands. And well, at least now that's over and done with. So
during the celebration, have they lit a bonfire or anything like that?
they will light one out in the back in this kind of green space out behind the
Mm-hmm.
Town Master's Hall. They'll have one. There's tables kind of set up all over, and there's a couple of musicians that will play inside and a few musicians that will play outside. And there's, kind of some games. It almost turns like into a country fair type of
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere.
Yeah. Okay.
Is sort of what.
Well, basically, when the guy starts really looking fidgety about the whole red brand thing, she basically will walk up to him and motion for him to hold out his arms. And when he does, she pulls basically as many of the cloaks out of like seemingly nowhere, but she pulls them out of a bag or whatever she's like literally rolled them up and stuffed them into, and then motions over to the bonfire and says, "There, go burn them. They ain't gonna be needed anymore."
And he looks and he says, "Oh, for true?" And he's his face lights up a little bit. He says, "Oh, that's wonderful, Mason. Thank you."
Mm-hmm.
And he heads over to the bonfire, and then there's just something about the politician in him that won't let him simply toss them into the bonfire. He will go up to the musicians and sort of wait until they get to the end of the song they're playing and just sort of hold up a hand that they shouldn't launch right into something else. And then he steps up and he says, "People of Sealsea, you know that for too long, our town has been held in the grip of terror from those scallywags and bandits and brigands that call themselves Red Brands. And we have learned today that they were led by one called the Blackstaff, or the Glasstaff. But I can assure you that our friends, the heroes," and he motions over to where Mason and Theolis and Amy are, "these heroes have dealt with them. And as proof," and he holds up one of the red brand cloaks, "I now consign to the flames the symbols of these ruffians that terrorized us." And there's a big cheer that goes up.
Oh god.
And he then tosses one into the fire, and it, kind of sparks up and everything, and people, "Yay!" and a few people shout, "One!" And then he tosses another one in, and there's more shouts, and now more people shout, "Two!" And he just does that, and it's like, like 12 or 15 of them that he tosses in there. And every time, there's more people shouting out, and people cheer and cheer. And then when they're all thrown in there, they all cheer. And then somebody says, "3 cheers for the heroes," and there was, yeah, and there's a hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray. And they are all overjoyed. And then after that, the musicians launch into the next jig that they're doing, and people are just very, very happy. And
Yay. And there was much
yeah.
rejoicing.
Yes. So there is that.
Yes.
Now, we have an opportunity to do a little bit of planning for what you guys want to do next. And then we can either try to start on that, or we can start on that next session. So we've sort of dealt with the red brands. And you learned a little bit. You learned kind of a little tidbit from the Glasstaff. And it could be that some of the people that were there with the Glasstaff may know more, but that would mean going and basically like talking to Core or to the goblin, the other goblin that was there, or maybe going back and questioning some of the prisoners if you guys wanted to do that. And by the way, I'm presuming unless you're going to say that Mason didn't think about it, because I'm going to presume that Theolis and or Amy would have thought about it. You guys kept enough of those cloaks for each of you to have one, just in case you need to go back into
we still have a ton left in my inventory.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. I mean, it was kind of one of those things that, I knew that we would need enough for our group to be able to go in and out to the guards, but we didn't need to have the rest of them. So
I have 5.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's plenty for the party. And who knows if Clark and the goblins will turn up anymore in crates or something over at the thing when they start doing an inventory. So they, let's see, there's Duran Eatermath, who has Holly Thornton, Colin Alderleaf, Sister Grail. Okay, Sister Grail gave you that silver comb, right?
She said she'd keep it until we completed the red brands.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you could get that from her anytime. Maybe she gave that to you and she gave you the potions, unless you guys want to go back and talk to her again separately before you head off to do that. There's the okay. There's the old owl well that the orchard guy mentioned. He's heard stories from prospectors in the hills northeast of Phandalin that someone is digging around the ruins known as the Old Owl Well. More disturbingly, several prospectors have reported being chased from the area by undead. And it's a 2-day march northeast of Sealsea. Find out who's there and what they're up to. And he knows the ruins are an old watchtower of an ancient magical empire known as the, actually not much is known about them. But it's an ancient magical empire, and he worries that dangerous magic might be dormant there. So
I'm game for that one.
Ancient magical empire.
Yes,
I could rule
magical and from the farm, Alderley Farm, they will tell you, or the woman there will tell you that she has a longtime friend who is a druid named Redoth. And she suggests that if you are, if you're trying to figure out where this Wave Echo Cave is, you could visit Redoth and ask for his help because he knows every inch of the land. And there's the ruins of a town called Thunder Tree, about 50 miles northwest from CLZ, and she can give you directions there. And you already have the thing about the Banshee, and you dealt with the orcs. You found Yarno and dealt with him, and you dealt with the Red Brand ruffians.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's just if you guys want to get to the bottom of this, there is the matter of finding this elf that calls himself the Black Spider, and the then obviously what you guys may or may not want to do about Cragmaw Castle, because that could be certainly a strategic stronghold. And then if CLZ could be kind of put under the sway of Cragmaw Castle, then that's a little bit of extra income to help raise the army, and taxes and all that sort of good stuff. And then if you can go deal with the spider, who knows what he may have. And he's obviously some kind of crazy, thinking that he's part of the True Elves. They have some way of returning the Sylvan Empire to prominence. Ha. Probably just a bunch of nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. What are you thinking, Amy?
Ancient magical kingdom.
Yeah. I kind of
that
want to
I
go with
could
that one
rule.
too. You already got one place to rule. I want someplace.
You could have this place because it's magical. Magical place. Oh, but my slime's in there. Dang it.
Oh, make up your mind. Which one you want?
We'll have to see it first, and we'll play rock, paper, scissors for it.
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. I like this. This is the way we're going to start settling things in this party. It's like, okay.
What is it? Anvil, parchment, shears?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, anvil, parchment, shears. There you go. All right. So, sounds like Old Owl Trouble. All right. We can head out that way. So the celebration is wonderful. Next morning, you guys thinking that next morning you'd get up and head off on this, or was there anything you wanted to do in town before you start to head off?
Handle the hangover?
Hey, you guys are experienced adventurers. You know how to tie one.
We can handle drinking.
Yeah.
I need to go to the Miners Exchange and get this 100 gold.
Okay. All right. So you guys go to the Miners Exchange, and yes, Mason, we'll just say that they have one for you as well. We'll say that Tomas left his
loss
token. So go ahead and add 100 gold to your character sheet.
Okay.
And Amy can add Town Master. Okay, let's see. This is 250 GP each. And then got paid from IOU earlier. 100 GP each. Okay. All right. So I have to remember to jot all these things down because one of the curious things in this edition is that you get for every gold piece of treasure is 1 experience point. That's something that I think that's something that they decided to go away from after a couple of editions because they realized that a lot of parties turned into just sort of
Kill dragon, get gold.
Well,
the dragons.
Even worse than that, Gooney, it was oh hey yeah, this town had a lot of problems. We solved all the problems, but there's a lot of stores in this town. I bet you these store owners have some money. Okay, now that there's basically we kind of are heroes in the town, let's go kill some of these store owners and take all their stuff. It's like,
I mean, there's a difference between like being motor hobos and then just complete assholes.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay.
0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah. So in this game, it's kind of weird. It's kind of that video game thing. All of the helpful NPCs, they've got money and resources as long as they're alive, but as soon as they're dead, that disappears into some sort of ether somewhere and never to be seen again.
Yeah. No kidding. Wow.
All right. So we're going to head off to heading to the old well. Oh, and then I should say Mustard sent to the big city to find a wizard, a magic user that can create control plant potions.
I am sincerely hoping he comes back. If he doesn't come back, I will cry.
Okay, bring.
Don't cry.
I spent like 100 gold on that horse and stuff.
Yeah. Amy. What did you tell him that you would pay him?
1 platinum.
Okay.
I'm not going to. That was a lie, but it'd hopefully bring him back.
You are too funny.
1 PP.
I mean, he fell for the 1 platinum trick once, and he got him into like a cult thing.
Yeah. All right. So, need to determine how long gone and when this charm wears off.
Yeah, I was going to say, what happens when his charm wears off?
There's actually written into the spell is it's kind of like because the charm lasts so long, somebody who's been charmed, the way they react to the person that charmed them oftentimes depends on how they were treated while they were charmed. Now a charmed person has always had this kind of caveat, well, you can't charm somebody and then tell them to kill themselves. Or
I treated him well, except I called him Mustard, which is a bad name.
you can't tell them to do something that's
Goes against their
really.
nature.
It goes, well, it's not even that. It's just something that obviously would be very harmful. Like, oh, hey, look, there's a big dragon over there. Why don't you go talk to it? You know,
Or
it's
hey,
like,
we should go touch that slime. It looks cuddly.
yeah. Probably now that would probably be actually a wisdom check on the part of the NPC going, yeah,
What?
maybe it looks like it's fine, but maybe it looks like it's dangerous. And if they thought it looked dangerous, then they would probably say, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do that." But if they failed a wisdom check and it's like, "Oh yeah, it looks fine to me," they might just go over there and try to pick it up. And
Oh.
Death.
well, I mean, because when PCs run into something that they've never seen before, wisdom check. What is it? So you got to do the same thing with NPCs. And when the PCs tell them to go do something that they may think is dangerous, but they're not sure. So yeah, to your point, you guys have treated, everybody in the party has treated Mustard pretty well, except for the name. But everybody has nicknames in this game, so. All the NPCs have nicknames, so they'll get over it. All right. So let's see.
So are we gonna look at getting a few more people? I know you've invited some people, but they've not shown up.
Yeah. I mentioned before you were able to jump on, Gooney, I mentioned to Amira that
Hello.
if she knows anyone that might be looking for another game, let them know. And I think she had somebody in mind, but we'll see if they have
I mean, having 4
anything.
people is comfortable, but now that we've lost one,
Yeah.
now we're kind of getting to that point where it's like we're doubling up on stuff.
Yeah. So, so if you know anybody that might be interested, Gooney, in looking for another game,
Okay.
maybe
Can't
somebody
make
that you.
any promises. I don't know a
Yeah.
lot of people. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, but most of them don't play video games.
Yeah.
Or role-playing games.
Yeah, and if there's any games that you've been in recently or anything, or people that you think might have an interest in joining this one, you could float that to them.
Okay.
Let them know.
Yeah, I've got a
And
group of players that our GM to our game on Tuesday night ghosted us all, or something happened to him. We've not heard from him in weeks. So
okay. So
no
yeah,
responses, no nothing. So I'll
if
ask them if they're interested.
yeah, if any of them are interested in a Saturday night game, let them know and tell them that when we finish this, the option will kind of be there if they decide they like this rule set enough. Then
Okay.
we might just go ahead and try to create a campaign, more of a homebrew campaign that will use this rule set.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
And go forward. Yeah, and so what we'll do, just as we end, is we will get you to the old owl well and let you sort of see what this looks like. As you crest a low ridge, you spy the crumbling ruins of an old watchtower standing amid the rugged hills. The place is so old that the walls are only mounds of rubble enclosing a courtyard of sorts adjacent to the broken stump of an old tower. A colorful tent has been set up in the middle of the courtyard, but no one is in sight.
Interesting.
Mysterious.
So,
So,
viewers, players, that is going to end our session for tonight. Thank you guys for coming and playing. Thank those of you who joined us on the stream, and thank you to everybody who watched during the week. Hello, future people.
thank you for watching.
And we will be back next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Those of you who watch this either live or watch during the week, if you are interested in seeing how this rule set plays out and how it's different from the rule set you might be familiar with, just look for the Lost Mine of Original D&D on Roll20, and I think it should be open for invitations at the moment. Just go ahead and send something and let me know, and I'll send you an invite. And once you accept that, I'll tell you how to get into the Discord and all that kind of good stuff that we use for voice. And we're using all pre-generated characters for this short story arc, because it's just easier to get familiar with the rule set when you don't have to worry about trying to create the character from scratch. And because it is a short story arc, you don't want to spend more time creating the character than you do playing the game. And then if we do roll it into a full-blown campaign, we will go through and have custom character creation for all the players at that point, and see how that all that works. All right. Anything, Amira, anything coming up that you want people to know about between now and next Sunday?
Well, I'm still working on that world domination thing.
Okay.
Apparently, in America, there's like this whole election thing, and no one can figure out who's the president. So I'm just going to take over while they're figuring that out.
Hey, there you go.
Can I be vice president?
What's your policy on cats?
They are a must-have. Every household should have one.
Okay, you're in.
Okay.
I happen to have 3, so.
All right. And in lieu of stimulus checks, bags of catnip will be delivered to every
There you
household.
go. Catnip and hairball treats.
There you go.
So, yeah.
All right.
Great rollers.
Oh God, we're all a little punch drunk at this point.
Yes. So, on this channel, you will see tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Gooney will be back, and we will be playing our 5e Walker of Waterdeep game. And Gooney is actually doing some artwork for that game, so tune in and see some of that she is creating. Then Monday, we have a Monster Monday, and this one is a very special Monster Monday because it's the first time we are actually looking at a monster that comes out of Wildemount. The source book created from the always popular and always excellent Critical Role podcast that Matthew Mercer created. So they created a source book that includes a bunch of custom monsters, and there's no reason why you can't just take those and adopt those for your own homebrew game, just like any other monster. So we're going to talk about those, where they came from, and kind of what you can do with it. Normally on Thursday nights we have our Sword Coast Chronicles game. The last 2 weeks that has been disrupted because of holiday stuff. Both Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve fell on Thursday in 2020. So 2 weeks in a row we missed that. I'm anticipating we will be back to that this coming Thursday night. And then next Saturday we will be back with another episode of The Lost Mine of Original D&D. And thank you everyone who has joined us. Appreciate you. And we will talk to everyone later. So viewers, good night.
Night, everybody.